Hey guys, it's Coach KJ here, and I'm actually with Tivon Madison, and he's with the Infinite Scholar Program. He's been with the program for 15 years, working with youth throughout the state of North Carolina, and I'm also with Marla Clayton. She is a Eagle. Go ahead,
Eagle
give it to us.
Pride.
Give it to us. Oh, I'm sorry. And Tivon, thank you for your service. He served in our military force.
Awesome.
But Marla, she is a teacher in the Durham school system. She's been there over 20 years, 22. I'm
Hmm.
21, so I wasn't really born when she
Yeah,
first started.
baby.
And she's going to give us some insight as to how forward it is tangible. They're both going to give us insight as to how forward is tangible and forward the student edition can be beneficial for mentors and teachers. So, Devon, can you tell me a little bit about the book and what you read and how you think this would be applicable?
Absolutely. So, Forward It Is Tangible. It's been a unique book because it helps us prepare ourselves for what we're coming into.
With today's youth, right? They're different. They're not like they used to be.
Correct. So, meeting with a lot of kids. Just recently, there's a lot of stories going viral about students that are getting their phones taken away, and they're just
You saw
literally
that?
going off.
Yeah,
They're
I
tearing
know
up the
about it.
house, and it actually went viral because this young person literally lost it.
Hmm.
So, as a community leader, this book will help us identify the skills that we have to identify what these kids need at school level, community leader, as we see the kids out in church and in the community. This book will help us prepare teachers and parents for
How to help.
how to help these kids.
Right? Because some things sometimes what happens is when you're not sure of the look of the details and the context, etc. Sometimes we can overgeneralize and say, "Oh, that's got to be this, that's got to be that." So when you understand like how different things can influence their behavior, do you think the book gave you some guidelines with that? Hey guys, I'm giving them a cheat sheet. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely. So the book will definitely lay out, different strategies and what you can identify based on your skills and talents and how to come across to these kids to make an impact.
What about you, Marla? What did you see?
I see ways to identify your strengths in reading this book, and it helps you to relate so you can kind of hit diverse learning. Because what I do, I work with special needs kids, so their needs range from maybe extreme needs to maybe just small needs. And so just being able to differentiate what they need, how I can take my strengths, apply them to help them figure out what their strengths are, and then also relating to the teachers because I'm not the main teacher and also the parents, just how to get all of us to work together to bring out the best in the students. So,
And so what did you think of the flip, like looking at strengths versus like
mhm.
looking at challenges or opportunities? I mean, did you see that in the reading? Please say yes. That's why I wrote it. No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
I don't know if I've gotten that far yet, but
Uh-huh.
you said so. Repeat that again, and I'll
So,
see if I can answer.
or when you were reading the book,
Hmm.
what did you think about the focus on strengths, like
Okay.
understanding like what the opportunities are, like
Yeah.
understanding the context versus just, you know, I see this behavior, this is A. I see this behavior, this is B.
Right. I think it just helped me to put a little bit more thought into the scenario. Just not basing it based on our own biases, what we believe, our culture, how we grew up, just seeing it in a different light, just trying to, you know, see where the kids are and, bringing yourself to where they are. I think that those strengths, if you can identify the strengths in the kids, you can identify the strengths that you have to motivate them to be their best. I
Right.
guess,
Right.
yeah.
What about you?
It's powerful. The book is definitely structured so that it allows us to do a self-assessment, self-reporting, is what I got from the book, on what skills and talents that I have to bring to the table to basically make sure that that kid has everything that they need at every level, mentally, physically, so that way that kid is not failing in school.
Right. I had a student, and it's sad to say she would come to school and not bathe. And so, that caused difficulties with socialization and everything with the kids because they're like, I don't want to be around her because she smells. And it impacted her, academically, socially, emotionally. And so, we tried to interact with the parents, but sometimes it just doesn't work. But, you just keep trying, and it's sad that you have those experiences, but all you can do is just keep trying to tell them what they need to do, make the student more uh, responsible for their own needs instead of depending on the parents, because sometimes the parents don't do what they're supposed to do. I mean, in that situation. And she's going on to middle school, and that's the last thing you need is someone that, to pick on you at those ages, in those stages of life, because it'll impact you for the rest of your life.
I was just reading that the second highest cause of death amongst adolescents is actually suicide. So you think about it, if it's completed suicide, you get to suicidal ideation, you get to, depression, sadness, there's levels that they're going through to get to the point of actually committing suicide. And so what I was trying to do with the book is to help people understand what some of the levels are, so that as you see this escalation of detachment, you can say, hey, look, you know what, let me look into this, let me help this person understand what their strengths are, because they may not understand what their strengths are, right? They may
Right.
sometimes we focus so much on the weaknesses, what you don't have, you need to build this, you need to build that, versus saying, hey, look, you know what, this is your foundation, this is your platform, it's time to grow. That was kind of the approach. So, but would you recommend it for teachers?
I would. I mean, I recommend it for myself. I mean, even with my personal life, not just professionally. There was a lot of things inside the book that made me think a little bit differently about decisions and things, personal.
And I think it's a definite resource to teachers because it will prepare us to help them succeed mentally
Yeah.
for every level that they're coming into at these early grades, which are definitely pivotal, like you said, so they don't.
Because one of the key things is, so when I talk about mental health, sometimes we think like mental health is like, oh my God, I'm sad, I'm depressed. Mental health solely means readiness, right? Like, are you ready, right? Are you ready to be average? Are you ready to be excellent? And sometimes when we're striving towards excellence, right, we don't realize some of the skills and strengths that if we just tweak it, twist it, turn it, that we can achieve excellence. So we just live in complacency, we live in average, we live in everyday, it becomes rote.
Right.
So one of the things that I was trying to do is help individuals not just look at it as like, oh my God, woe is me, but like, oh, wait a minute, if I just do a little bit of this, you know? So that was one of the goals too, is just to help, teachers, mentors, leaders see that, see their excellence, because sometimes you forget, sometimes you get into school, you've been teaching for X number of years, it gets stale.
It does, the same skills, and some of the, the students that I work with are so low level that it seems like every effort is minimal. Like you don't see the progress right away. And that can kind of get a little boring, or am I doing what I'm really supposed to do? But then when they do a small thing,
I know,
it's like a big thing, because I had a student and I wasn't paying him any attention. He's nonverbal most of the time, and he has autism. And a teacher came in and was talking to me, and I'm standing up, not paying him any attention. So next thing I hear, he said, "Sit down." I said, "Michael, did you say sit down?" And it was so funny. I told his mom in the IEP meeting, and she was like, "Oh my God." But, that was great. That's what we want them to do, to communicate. So it was a good
and to
situation.
build on those success stories, right? To build on those success stories. Well, thank you so much for everything, guys. Like I said, I wanted to just talk a little bit more about the book and about what kind of opportunities it can provide for leaders, mentors, teachers. It's self-affirming for them as well as affirming for the students. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
All right, guys.